Good morning, guys. Well, kind of morning. It's like 11 now. I kind of got a late start to the morning, woke up a little late, but I'm gonna make breakfast and then I'm gonna head to the gym. So I'm gonna show you what I have for breakfast, and then we're gonna talk about traveling and how to travel on a diet. Alright guys, so this is my finished meal. I have 1 egg and 4 slices of bacon and a little bit of salsa. So I'm going to eat this and then I'm going to head to the gym. So I will see you guys there.
Waiting for you. You were always taking time, baby, playing it through. I was calling out your name with my eyes on the wall. You were running like a ghost from me. You were running from it all. You got me waiting, I'm on fire. You got me waiting, my desire. Keep on moving to the purpose now, to the ending of the ocean. Keep on moving to the purpose now, to the ending of the ocean. You've been playing my mind lately, turning it around. Once I thought you were mine, baby, we're safe and sound. You got me waiting, I'm on fire. You got me waiting, my desire. I follow your heartbeat. Keep on moving to the purpose now, to the ending of the ocean. Keep on moving to the purpose now, to the ending. I follow your heartbeat away, away, away. I follow your heartbeat away.
So I want to talk a little bit about traveling and being on a diet. It's very hard to travel and be on a diet. I would know, I just got back from the Big Island and it was quite difficult to stick to my diet. I didn't take the necessary steps I should have or could have to stick to my diet. But moving forward, I am doing a lot of traveling this year. I am heading to LA in about a week, and then I am heading to Las Vegas for the Mr. Olympia Expo later on this year. So I have a lot of traveling I'm going to be doing. So that means I'm going to be away from home a lot, and I'm going to have to be making my meals somewhere else and making sure I meet my macros. So I put together a few tips and tricks that I'm going to be using over the course of this year when I'm traveling, and that you guys can use when you guys travel, whether it's a business trip or a vacation and you really want to stick to your diet and continue to move forward with your fitness goals. So let's get into tip number 1. So tip number 1 is make sure you have a plan and stick to it. So know what your diet plan is, know what your macros are or your calories. However you choose to track your food intake, make sure you know what it is, write it down, get an app. I highly suggest getting an app for this because you always have your phone with you, and that way you can always know where your calories or your macros are. I use MyFitnessPal to track. It's very easy. You can scan things and you can look up fast food or wherever you're eating out if you have to eat out. That way you know how much calories or fat or protein or carbs are in something. That way you can track it very easily. And when you are tracking things on vacation or just in traveling in general, make sure you track them right then in the moment. So you order something, you track it. You put down exactly what you ate, how much you ate, and that way there'll be no guessing game later. You can't remember how much you ate, or you don't remember what you ordered or what you ate for breakfast. This way there's no guessing involved. You know what you ate and you know where you're at with your macros or your calories, and that way you know how much you have left or how much you don't have left. So it's very important that you track when you are traveling. So tip number 2 is a little bit less unknown, but it's a very obvious one. It's meal prepping. But most people don't think about meal prepping when they're going on a flight. But you can meal prep and bring your meals with you on a plane. TSA does allow you to bring food through security onto your flight. But there are rules and regulations about that, and you are going to need to call TSA and figure out what ice packs you are allowed to bring on and which ones you aren't allowed to bring on. Of course, you're not allowed to bring on any kind of liquids, but you can also bring on protein powder or snack bars or protein bars or whatever the case may be. As long as it's a solid food and it's not a liquid, you can bring it on. You can't bring soups and things like that, but you can bring your chicken, your rice, your broccoli, whatever you meal prep, you can bring on the plane. As long as you put it in your little plastic containers, and you can bring it through security and straight onto the plane. Whether you want to pack for about a week or you just want to make a meal for the flight, which I do highly suggest because the in-cabin food probably doesn't meet your macros, so I do suggest at least bringing a meal onto the plane with you if it is a long enough flight. So if it's over 4 hours, I do suggest bringing your own meal. That way you're not tempted by the food in the airport or the food on the plane. So that's my second tip for you guys. So tip number 3 is know what you have available to you. So if you're gonna be staying in a hotel, know what they have available in the room. Call and ask. Ask them if they have a microwave in the room, if they have a refrigerator in the room, and if not, ask them if it's available to get in the room. A lot of times they won't put things in the room, but they do have them available and they'll give it to you for no extra charge. You just need to ask. So it never hurts to ask. Always ask them what they have available and if it is available. And if not, ask them if they do have a microwave in a more public place like the lobby or by the ice machine or something like that. You never know. So know what you have available to you. If you're going to be staying with family and friends, then I'm absolutely sure they'll probably let you use their stove and their microwave and their refrigerator. Just know ahead of time what you're going to have available to you so you can plan accordingly. So tip number 4 is go to the grocery store. If you don't want to meal prep for the plane or you don't want to bring food on the plane with you, that's okay. If you're going to go on a road trip and you don't think the food's going to make it all the way there, that's fine. Just go to the grocery store when you get there. When I head into LA, as soon as I get off the plane, I am heading straight to the grocery store and I'm going to pick up everything I need for the week. It's very simple, it's very easy. Even if you don't have a stove to cook things on, you can always buy pre-cooked chicken at the grocery store, steamable rice in the microwave, and steamable veggies. So it's a very easy, simple way, and it's a lot cheaper than eating out. So I do highly recommend either meal prepping or buying stuff at the grocery store when you get there. And if you're worried about how you're going to cook things, you can always buy them pre-cooked, or you can bring a George Foreman with you, which is a very, very good option. You can always just bring your George Foreman with you, put it in your check bag, whether you're flying or just bring it in the car if you're traveling. And that way you have a way of cooking your meats and whatever else you may want to cook. And I do highly suggest either bringing that or having somewhere to cook it or just buying pre-cooked stuff. It's a very easy, simple way to get around the whole eating out thing. You already have your meals, and you can always bring Tupperware from home and just pre-package your meals. You can do it all in one night. You can cook all your chicken on your George Foreman and put them in their little plastic containers and put them in the fridge. And that way you're set for the rest of the week. So tip number 5 isn't really a tip or trick, it's more my advice to you guys, and that's forgive yourself. Learn to forgive yourself. Being on a diet and traveling is really difficult and it's very hard to do. So if you slip up or you make a mistake, it's okay. Pick yourself right back up, forgive yourself, and keep moving forward. Don't let your mistake or your slip up affect the rest of the week. Just learn to forgive yourself, keep pushing forward. We're all human, we all make mistakes, we all fall down sometimes, but the important thing is to pick yourself back up and keep moving forward. So that's my advice to you guys. Learn to forgive yourself, don't be too hard on yourself, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next week.